Calcutta, and now it's called Kolkata in India. And it's a joint family,
Yeah.
like multi-generational family. I grew up with mom, dad, like my cousins, my uncle, aunt. It is just
Your older and your younger sister.
Yes, and it's a full house.
Full house.
Full house. There's always a chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we tried. So and I was part of the gang.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I know your case is quite different from me.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. You have one mom, one dad, and that's
me.
it. And that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But I could say that growing up in joint family, I have to say it has more advantages than disadvantages. I think we got more matured because pretty much we are living with the adults.
Yeah.
So we have witnessed a lot, like, like fun, like, but there's always also some disputes.
Yeah.
But that also helped me to know what real life is.
Yeah.
Yes, it's not a bed of roses.
Yeah.
There would be moments, some happy moments, and when we all come together, and there would be moments like, oh,
yeah,
we hate each other,
which is only natural, I would think.
Yeah, we have learned to resolve the disputes.
Yeah,
there's no place for ego.
Yeah,
no.
Yeah,
you could cry, you could be angry, but the next day when we wake up,
you guys are back as a family.
Yes, that's it. Of course, we used to go shopping before in the Durga Puja with my sisters, and happened to be the Gari Hart. It's so close to my home.
Yeah.
So and since I grew up in a joint family, so it was like
a field trip.
My mom, both my aunts, and then us and my cousins, we all used to go together for shopping.
Those are good memories.
And then we used to buy clothes.
Yeah.
Same printed.
Why?
Because I think
you wanted to match.
No, we used to feel proud of it.
Oh, like match.
It's just like a showing off. Look,
Mukherjee siblings.
Yeah,
basically.
Mukherjee siblings. We didn't have to go outside to eat. There's always food is a very important thing in our life.
Think about your next meal before you're even eating.
Yeah, and I have a beautiful recollection of that Sunday morning.
Yeah,
it is that watching Ramayana and Mahabharata.
Yeah.
Was a sacred ritual.
All
of us by 9:30 or around 10 o'clock, I don't know. Everybody's sitting in front of one big TV. And then after that, we would have luchi and torkari.
Yeah. So good.
So good. And then followed by Roshogolla from this. Then the mutton, mangshed jhol. Sunday mangshed jhol. Yeah. I think that's such a happy memory.
Yeah,
it's I will cherish it for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So
What about fish?
Huh?
No fish?
Okay, fish 6 days away.
Oh,
Sunday
was mutton.
Yes. Sunday
your delicacy.
Oh.
The week.
Yeah, the fish, it's rice and fish. We are Bengalis.
I know. Typical.
Yeah, and of all the sisters, I was a very big fish eater.
You still are.
I was
that hasn't changed.
They used to call me Cat because.
Didn't you say there was like a cafe when you were in school? I feel like you brought it up once when we went to India this past.
No, it's
December.
Just because when I was dating with your dad.
What's the scoop?
Like that,
I think, right?
Or
scoop. It was called scoop.
Yes,
a scoop.
Yes. So we said, oh my God, where we would go, someone would see us, and my dad would come to like only person that I used to think my dad should not know about it.
Yeah.
The rest of the world doesn't matter. My dad should not know about it. It's just that he was very strict person. Yeah. But now he became so friendly.
Yeah.
I think I'm more close to him than when I was young, because by profession, he was a doctor. He was very busy.
Yeah.
And so we didn't get much time to interact with him. Just all we remembered, you have if he needs some help with math, okay, go to person is dad. And I grew up in India, and we had 3 sisters.
Yeah.
But I never felt that my mom and dad told me that, oh, you're a girl, so you cannot do these things.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Is on the
So
other
what was
hand,
it? Yeah, what was it like for you
on
guys?
the other hand, like, I was never in a bubble. One thing I want to talk about, like when I was in fourth grade, our then Prime Minister, Indira Gandhi,
Yeah.
she was killed, and by her 2 bodyguards.
Yeah.
That sparked riots,
Yeah.
lootings.
Yeah, and your home is right next to
Gurudwara,
right?
and so was my school.
Mm.
And I was in school, all of a sudden just feel hearing something.
Yeah, you're so young.
Oh, the parents are coming to pick you up. Like, what happened? Like, we had no idea. Like, just we heard the parents are coming because everything was halted. So my dad and my aunt, they walked, I think could be like, I don't know, maybe 5 kilometers, something like just to pick us up, because everything was halted. There's nothing.
Yeah.
So, and there was the first time I witnessed, being a child, what curfew was. Like, and my home was in the heart of the city.
Yeah.
Yes, it's like a Times Square. It's
really
a prime location. Like the hustle and bustle, and that no people on the road, no cars. It's that eerie, that silent, just. I said, what happened? This was a different. I was feeling that I am on a different planet. Like,
like a different country,
so eerie.
Totally different.
So definitely, and I witnessed the sorrowness, the pain, and anger. Like, being a child, I think
that was probably your first really big traumatic moment.
If you see my mom, she apparently is like very soft-spoken.
Yeah,
very soft-spoken, very love. Like, everyone would love her. Like, it's just her personality. Like, happy-go-lucky, always happy. I've never no complaints in her life. Even though when she was sick, like, but now when I sit down and I think about her, because now I'm a mom and I have raised up my daughter, and I think she's the strongest woman that I have ever seen in my life. You don't have to show strong.
Agreed. Totally.
She never showed. Like, she is like outside, like she's so loving. So, but
I think strength is internal more than external.
Like, because ours is a love marriage. I was dating, so I'm sure someone somewhere had said something, but she never
allowed it to go to you.
She was a shield. She was a shield. She just I think the last breath of life, like, I think she was there. And there are certain things, and I had a very close relationship, open relationship with my mom. There was nothing that I had to hide, because I think my dad, he being very strict. So, we need someone, that could nurture our emotional part.
Of course.
And she was
played that role.
There, like, for us in India, okay, you're not supposed to watch TV because evening you're supposed to study. And there's something called Chitrahar that's about like Hindi movie songs that happen to be on, I think, every Wednesday or something, between 9 to 9:30. And my dad used to go to his chamber because he was a doctor. So my mom said, don't worry, I will watch. You guys can watch it. You were there for half an hour. Make sure you do all your homework
beforehand.
She used to stand, or just to say the dad's not coming back. So this is how, like, and one thing she told us, like, I'm telling you, you can do whatever you want, but always make sure that you should not feel ashamed of yourself
for the decisions you make. She was very
great.
pivotal in just like,
Yeah.
especially I think
Yeah.
emotional growth.
Oh, yeah. She nurtured us so well.
Yeah.
Like she was like always selfless. Like she was there
Yeah.
for us, even though she never came here. She always wanted to.
She was afraid of planes,
I
right?
think she never said quote to quote.
Yeah.
But it kind of, she always said, why didn't you come here? Then I will have all my three daughters.
Yeah.
That was it for me. You come over
Yeah.
here. She never said, you are in America again. No, I don't need anything. You just come over. Yeah.
And we made so many India trips growing up.
She was very simple. Like, because she was so happy inside.
Yeah.
So materialistic.
She didn't have to, there was nothing to compensate for.
Yes. Yeah. One time there was an argument between my mom and dad, and of course, maybe dad had said something. So she was crying, but at that moment I said, Mom, why did you say that to dad? He left home.
Yeah.
But it's just, I never thought about it, but I thought, oh my God, my dad left. Mom, why did you tell dad?
It's almost as if like unconsciously, that bias that if they're arguing somehow it just goes.
No,
your fault,
think about it. It's just because my dad left home.
Oh.
So he leaving home
was like, what did you
do?
Yeah. When he could have totally been the big dramatic one.
Could be,
And he did something and he was like, I need to cool off.
But she talked back.
He
so
left.
My dad said, what?
And he left.
Yeah. I think maybe that hurted her more. So, okay, now you guys are yelling at me. Oh, I feel so bad, Mom.
Yeah.
I never thought in my life that I would go across the world and settle somewhere
that must have been scary.
Away from my family.
And you were so young.
Yes. So young. I was very young when I got married. I just completed my college education. I exam, I think April. And I think I got married in June because it's just a year before we were engaged, and and dad came here, and I said no, let's get married.
I'm over it. Move. Long distance only for so long.
I have to say that when we came here, it was an eye-opening. Like, think about it. I grew up in a joint family, and I have to say that we were very privileged to have a cook, a chauffeur, and someone was always there to take.
There was literally someone to do the dishes, someone to cook.
So all we did was just study, have fun. That was our life.
You didn't have to worry about chores.
Responsibilities.
No chores.
Nothing. This was
must be nice.
Even for wedding, like I know, Anwesha, congratulations, you got just engaged, and you're thinking about
weddings,
wedding, and I see you so involved in making decisions. On my part, only thing that I did, like I went with my mom, my dad, and my sibling. I just purchased the Banerjee saree. That was my contribution.
Nice.
And I got married.
You got to choose the outfit you wore to your wedding.
That's it. That is my only
pretty iconic purchase. But yes.
Of course, I made a lot of challenges. Think about it. Like, only person that I knew here was your dad. And the visa that we came, it was called H4, like a dependent visa, and you're not supposed to work. Yes. Okay. So dad, he came on H1 visa, like they hired skilled people from outside America to come because but
for you couldn't.
No. So for me, I say I used to miss home a lot. And that could be one of my reason. Okay,
like I'm ready to have a kid.
Basically,
kid,
Some
like you got married, you had a kid.
I think, and we started to explore. We made new friends, and another thing I remember, like dad's boss, that company. It's called Nico Infotech. And one thing he told us, he invited us after we came here. And said, if you want to stay in this country, there are two things you have to do. That you have to learn driving and you have to work. Now, like, I know why he said that. Because think about it, like, if you don't know driving, you are just restricted within the four walls. We didn't have call Uber. We didn't have any, and calling cab is very expensive thing.
For sure.
So if you don't know driving, you are just inside home. You can only go out.
Yeah, you're restricted to your opportunities that you have.
So yeah, that's so important. And work, because when you're working, you're going outside. You're meeting new people,
networking,
you're making
talking
new
to
friends.
people.
You have a life of your own. It's not, oh, my husband's
friends,
my husband's colleagues. Like, now I think it's so important for everyone. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, even just to go out, even if you don't want to work,
fine,
then
do something else.
You do something else.
Join a club.
So you should have your own life. Yes. And
I think being an individual is also just as important as being be in a healthy relationship. But you are your own person at the end of the day.
You cannot expect your husband all the time. Okay, that time, like, oh, I'm home. Well, you should take me to
XYZ or wherever.
It just, so that too. I think that was very important lesson
for you.
For me, that if I really want to settle in USA, I have to
drive and I have to find
a job. But I had you within 1 year, first year of our marriage. So first 3 years, I didn't work. I should not say I didn't work.
Yeah, because
being a mom, I think that was true.
Also, like, from my perspective now, right? Because the age that I'm right now, you already had me and I was a 4-year-old child. I can't even process what it's like if I had a biological. My Rocky is enough of my child, who is my, our mini golden doodle.
Think about it. You have parents.
Exactly. I was just gonna say. I was like, for you,
if you ever need help, and I'm sure, like, your fiance, Omkar, if you guys need help,
parents,
like these
you guys,
2 sets of parents,
that's 4 people already there.
Today, and think about it. For me, as people say you need a village to raise a child. Like, my village wasn't there.
So like when Baba was gone at work,
since I had you at such a young age, I didn't get time to know people, to make friends. It's just that we had maybe 3 or 4 families, and
also, just like you said, you grew up where you were lucky that, like, you had a chauffeur, you had a cook, you had all of these people doing chores for you guys. But then you come to this country, being a mom, you don't cook. Like, it's like you're not used to the things that how you were raised, and you have to raise your child so differently compared to how.
But that also helped me to become more independent.
For sure,
more self-sufficient.
Because
I had to.
You had to figure it out, and maybe you made mistakes growing up.
I learned from it. But that helped me. And one thing I knew, that since our families is not there for you. So me and Dad, like I say, we are your everything. So we always took time. I don't know whether you understand that you are everything. And we are everything to you that
for
time.
Sure.
So and that brought us to be a very close-knit family. And we made sure that you know about our culture. And me and Dad, we always spoke with you in Bengali. সবসময় বাংলায় কথা বলতাম।
বাংলাতে খুব ভালো কথা বলতে পারি।
একদম, তো যাতে তুমি বুঝতে পারো our culture, তুমি যখন ইন্ডিয়া যাবে, যাতে তুমি ওদের সাথে ভালোভাবে কমিউনিকেট করতে পারো।
বাংলাতে তো কথা বলি সবসময়।
I always wanted to be a teacher because I was very close to
a lot of your professors.
A lot of professors and teachers. But when I came here, the first 3 years of my life here, I didn't work. I say no, I don't have any family member here, and I can't. And I was lucky enough that I didn't have to work. So I stayed home and I raised up my daughter. And then when she started going to uh, preschool,
Preschool, yeah.
I started, looking for jobs.
Yeah.
And first I found a job in bank,
Mm-hmm.
and I worked there, but it
It
just
wasn't for
I
you.
wasn't happy because
Yeah.
and always then one day, and your dad, he was traveling that time, and it was so hard for me to find a babysitter because
Oh my God, the
yeah,
Hello Kitty, the time that I came to the bank for the entire
yeah,
day.
yeah, we have one because
Yeah.
you were
Oh my God, I totally
sick, and I
forgot about
called
that.
out, and my
Yeah.
manager called me and said, Aparna, can you bring your daughter? And she could stay because
Yeah.
two other, like, I think
People had
they
to.
called out and say, and I took you
You
to
took me.
work.
I vividly
I even
remember
went,
this now. Yeah.
with Motrin, with blanket,
With the Hello
with
Kitty
Hello Kitty
blanket, watching
blanket.
it.
Yes,
Yeah.
and you just
I was in the conference room the
yeah,
entire
you were
day.
there, yeah. And even she set up a TV
She
for you
did. I
so
remember.
that you
Yeah.
can, yeah. So
Oh
those
yeah.
are like, it's
Yeah.
not easy, like
No.
for me. But I have to say, but then, and me and dad decided, no, this is
Not
not
for you.
happening.
No.
It's curious. So I decided, no, I will take a break. And if I find something in school, what I wanted to do,
Mm-hmm.
then I will do it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I used to volunteer. You
You did.
remember?
Yeah.
Yes, I volunteered in his
Yes.
school a lot, and then of course I found my dream job.
Mm-hmm.
I just
It's such a big part of you.
big part of me. My life really
Yeah.
came
And you've been there for how
for
many years now?
18 years,
18 years.
and I work with the special needs people,
Mm-hmm.
like but they help me
Yeah.
to be a better human being. I learned
Mm-hmm.
to be content and happy, whatever
Yeah,
you have in your life.
for sure.
Because I am seeing someone, like, just to move one finger,
Mm-hmm.
how much time it takes. You were moving so many muscles. Look
Right
at
now,
it. You're
as we're
blinking.
speaking, smiling.
Yes, smiling. You don't know how many muscles are working in sync
Just to
just to
do
execute
this.
that
Yeah.
action. So I said, I don't have any complaint
Yeah.
toward my life anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And those, I, I get to work with such a beautiful, beautiful souls.
Yeah.
Oh, they just have enriched my life. I don't know whether they need me
Yeah.
or I need
Them,
them.
for sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I can see the life from different angle.
Yeah.
I appreciate,
Mm-hmm.
and I just they say if you love something, you are not working.
Yeah,
So
you don't feel like you're working.
I don't feel that I'm working, even though
and that's a
some
dream.
days, yes,
Yeah.
even though sometimes I'm sick, when I'm waking up in the morning, once I take a shower,
Yeah.
I feel, no, I can go. At the
Yeah.
moment I stepped in to that school,
Yeah.
everything
And I
disappeared.
think that's what people would want for,
Yes.
like, that is the end goal that everyone would
Yes,
want.
I've evolved as a better human being
Yeah.
than what I was before. But I have to say, I'm not a perfect person. I
Perfect to me.
I'm
Most of the
happy.
time.
Yeah, of course, yeah, most of the time.
Yeah.
But I try.
You love your
I
job.
try. I always try.
Yeah.
I am my biggest critic.
Yeah. But I think that's very
I am my
normal.
biggest critic. Like
Yeah.
I can if I do something like
Yeah.
not wrong, if I may happen to say something that I shouldn't have said, I won't think twice. I can go to that
and correct it
and I can say sorry. Like
it's not hard for you to say sorry.
It's not.
No, it isn't.
It's not. It's just that I will say, okay,
Yeah.
I was not having a good day. Maybe I said something.
But you'll own up to it.
I will own up to it,
Yeah.
and whatever consequences,
I'm ready to face it. Yeah.
I'm ready to face it.
I think these are just like smaller comments or like quote unquote what you call like a backhand compliment. It's not really a compliment, but like hearing the words like "you're so pretty" for an Indian girl.
Oh.
at the time when I was in high school and I got those comments, of course I was like, oh my God, thank you so much. I took it as a positive reinforcement that was a great compliment to have. Like, oh my God, I'm so pretty for an Indian girl. That is so kind.
Yeah.
Here I am 10 years later trying to really understand that compliment. It is so rude because it's basically saying Indian girls are not pretty, so you are pretty, so you stand out.
So there,
it is a very backhand compliment.
Yeah. One point thing I remember at one point of time in your life, you were Anna Banerjee.
I was.
Not Anwesha Banerjee.
No, I hated my name.
One of your friend's mom, she just told me, Anwesha doesn't call herself Anwesha anymore. She
goes by Anna.
She goes by Anna. And I just listened, and I think I got that by my mom thing. Yeah, you can.
I was like, I don't remember this.
I will not
bring it up to her.
Yes, and I will not that. Will fit into that conversation. It's just okay, because I knew because that's only a phase in your life.
Yeah, it really is. Go by my name now.
Because think about it, and I give so much credit. Like I have so much respect for you guys, especially for immigrant kids growing up. That you are always trying to balance between your school life and home life. You have two cultures. We have expectations from home and your expectations from your your friends, schools. You are always trying to balance. I say, I will not make it harder for her. Oh, why did you change your name?
That. Yeah.
And I knew that this is part of your life and you grew out of it.
Yeah.
And then today, I think you are.
Literally Anwesha Banerjee. I love my culture. I think I'm extremely proud of being Indian. And I just it's currently, we're getting ready for our Pujo season. Durga Puja is coming up, Kali Puja, Diwali.
Yeah.
And it's something that I think throughout the years of, me growing up and just having that, love for culture be enforced in various activities was so important because here I am now, really getting to soak it in and enjoying it and everything.
It's beautiful. Our Indian culture,
love it.
So diverse.
Yeah.
So colorful.
You celebrate the small and the big things.
Yeah.
So if we take a look back a bit more on me going by Anna, I think, and even backtrack to when you're talking about being, dealing with two cultures at the same time. Yes, I think what social media is today, what models look like today, what leading actors, actresses of shows look like today is nothing what it looked like when I was growing up. When I was growing up, I was watching shows with a primarily white male or female lead, and their supporting best friend would maybe be a person of color. And even then, most likely it wasn't. Honestly, the antagonist was someone of color and the protagonist was a white person. So I think society, especially in my childhood, and social media raised it where white people were the heroes and then everyone else was not, type of thing. And I think that's something that may have unconsciously been at the back of my head. And even then when we were in school, the popular girls were white girls. Yeah. So you wanted to be popular. You wanted to hang out with the white girls. And as you hang out with,
you want to get into that quick.
You become who you hang out with. And that's something that I know we've talked about, learned from and everything. But it was really easy to get into that hole of chasing popularity or taking that compliment, you're so pretty, for an Indian girl. And at that time thinking, oh my God, that's right. I am better than other brown girls, and taking that as a competition. So yeah, I also feel even some of the teachers that I had, my 5th grade teacher, who is a professor, got his bachelor's degree, got a master's degree. He was a white teacher, could not pronounce my name. And this is someone.
That's such a difficult name.
It really is. My name is Anwesha. It is as you spell it.
Yeah.
And he once called me Sacagawea. My name starts with an A, and he Sacagawea has no relevance to my name. There is nothing. And then I had students.
And he thought that it's a very fun.
Probably, thing, you know. And I think I had a student, like I had not a friend, like he was in my class, and he couldn't pronounce my name, so he would call me Anwesha. And I think one day he was like, "Would you like? Is it cool if I just drop Weisha and I just call you Anna?" And I was like, "Yeah, why not?" Because obviously, when I'm young at the time, you don't really know what your identity is. I have no idea what that is like.
And I think I can also contribute to that. Yeah. I think one time you said, I know you used to collect keychains wherever you used to travel.
Yes.
And you could never find a keychain that says Anwesha.
No, never. Having an ethnic name in America today is something that maybe kids love more nowadays. And I'm not saying that there weren't kids who loved their names from the beginning, but in general, I think if you had an ethnic name when I was growing up, it was really hard to accept it as is because, of course, as a young kid, I want the bracelet that has names on it. I'm here looking for Anwesha. And you see I remember Abigail, you say Anna, Annabella, you see all these names. You don't see mine.
Anwesha was missing.
Anwesha was missing. So when I still vividly remember this, when he asked me, I was like, yeah, I'll go by Anna. And then Anna took on, and that was in 5th grade. Then I went to middle school, which is a whole new school. And you're taking another elementary school and adding it. So I had the perfect opportunity to invent myself to be this new person. I started from the beginning of all my teachers, all my class. I was like, I'm not going to let any teacher mispronounce my name. So we would always sit alphabetically, and because my last name's Banerjee, I would be like second. So I knew when we were doing the roll call and doing attendance, if they were going to do names, even before the teacher had the opportunity to potentially mispronounce my name, I would be like, I'm here, you can call me Anna. I would immediately let them know I go by Anna. And at that time, again, I just took it as is, was totally for it. I had a phase that I wore blue contacts. Yes. I really was like, how whitewashed can I be? And I totally am cognizant of that now. And I'm very aware that that was a phase that I have no regrets for. I don't believe in regrets because I wouldn't be who I am today if I didn't go through
one thing, let me tell you, life is all about experiences.
Agreed. Yeah.
There's nothing bad, nothing you should feel ashamed of. It's okay.
Yeah.
And you have learned out of it.
Yeah. I was like, I could not be who I am today if I didn't go through the experiences I went for the past 26 years. So it had to happen. And I think just to sum that up, it is a very big combination of people I was around, personal experiences, and majorly society. I think society now makes a very overall, there is much improvement still to be made, but they are making an active effort to be inclusive.
Inclusive, yes.
And it is noticed to a certain extent. For example, American Girl dolls. I loved American Girl dolls, but every American Girl doll was white.
Yeah.
I had a white American Girl doll.
Yeah.
Last year, the American Girl doll of the year was an Indian girl who was from a town called Metuchen.
Yeah.
So it is changing in certain extent. There is still so much more improvement that can be made, but I can see a potential where if and when I have a child in the future, I'll be very aware to show her social media or TVs or shows where she sees someone similar to her in a positive lead, where she has much more appreciation for her upbringing, her culture, and everything from an earlier age, and doesn't have to go through so many years to then be at a place where she's like, I know my identity, I am strong in who I am, I love my self, love my name. I think what bothered me growing up was, why did we have to emphasize so much on what girls can and cannot wear, and why did we not emphasize to men, boys, just to stop looking? Why can't it just be parents, family, society teaches the boys, hey, like if a girl is wearing a spaghetti strap top, let her wear that spaghetti strap top.
Yeah.
Nothing should be too like, oh, it's like gonna make people not focus on school because it's going to have them focus elsewhere. And I think that's something that trickles to even when we get older to this day. And I have said this probably in like work interview, like my entry level job interviews, when they ask the question, like, tell me about a time that you disagreed with something. And this is when I had no prior like work experience. So I could only talk about like social stuff or like personal experiences. I don't know if I ever talked to you about it, but like I hate the concept of ratio for a party. So when we would go to undergrad college parties before we went to bars, when you would go to the frat houses, it would either girls would be allowed in for free. Boys, if a boy wanted to come, either bring $5 or bring 5 girls.
Oh.
So when you try to rationalize that concept, each girl is equivalent to $1. You either drop $5 or you bring 5 girls. Am I worth $1? I am not. But definitely at the time when I was a freshman, did I not like? I wanted my guys to like. I wanted to go with my male friends. Fun.
Like,
so of course I'm like, hey, I'll be one of the girls for you to get in. Halloween freshman year, ratio was 26 girls to like $10. Like that is how much like a fraternity would overall be like, we need the female energy because more females means like I know, and it's like it's disgusting when you think about it, but it's almost like college and college society in general like glamorizes that fact. Like there are girls who are like, oh my god, like I am always this person's like ratio. I'm always in that squad that I can help him get in. Like it's almost like a power type of thing. But in deep rooted, it's another just backhand compliment. Like, why am I the equivalent to $1? I'm now at an age where I'm closer to becoming a mother myself, which is very scary to say. But I'm becoming closer to being a mother than I am to being an elementary.
Good dog mom.
Yeah,
I think you get just a little practice.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm ready to, like, not anytime soon. But I know there are a lot of character traits that I would want to take from you, from how you raised me, so that I can have the same relationship with my child when they come to that age. And that can only happen if I show up for them, if I allow them to have the trust. I think trust is huge.
Trust. You know, I think we always respect each other. That's very important. It doesn't matter how old are you. You could be like 3-year-old, 4-year-old, but you are a human being.
You agree. Yeah. Last year, you and I did like a mom-daughter trip to Charleston, South Carolina. Very impromptu, and we are not an impromptu planner. We are a type A. We will plan trip A to Z. But just with like life experiences and everything, you and I were both like, you know what, we're in a need for a little getaway, and it was just you and me. Baba stayed back with Rocky, and honestly, like we had no real plan. We just had the hotel room. We looked up what you can do. We didn't have a car. We didn't do any of that. We were like, what can we do in Charleston, walking distance from our hotel? And it was a beautiful trip. Good food. We did fine dining. We did our high tea experience. And I love it so much because I feel like that was the first time as an adult where it was just you and I. And it was a really really nice trip. And then in general, I think my favorite memories with you are more on like the smaller scale that have a bigger impact. But like I talk about it all the time. Like, you know, Baba was doing his MBA. So there were times when you had to take on the role of both dad and mom so that Baba had the chance to get the time to balance work and school. He was at the same time, right? So he had to school his time already was stretched. And so that's where like, you know, you have a healthy relationship with Baba where it was like I can take on the role of both dad and mom. Only
for 2 years.
I could do and like I know we've talked about it, but like the invisible like being a parent is a job. I think, in my opinion, I think being a mother is harder. Like that is just an experience in every way. It just naturally is. I think at that, like, those are my favorite memories because it was like I got a lot of time with you during then growing up, whether it was driving me to theater practice, choir rehearsals, grabbing McDonald's from home or something, like you picking Chipotle bowls, going to Menlo Mall. I mean, to this day, you and I are still going to Menlo Mall. I grew up exposed to so many different cultures, many different people. You grew up exposed to a very strong, just Indian, defined Indian. This is what it is. It's presented to you, and you just get succumbed into the norms, and exactly. So that's why I say coming here to seeing life from different perspective has helped me to evolve as a better human. Like I feel myself, like the things that taken for granted, like like so I think like I definitely like do view myself as a feminist. There will be so many times I think growing up when like I said, when I brought up like the conversation of ratio and stuff, where I didn't like multiple instances like that in my childhood growing up to now, where I would have these feelings that would for me come off as like, okay, like this is me being like a feminist and caring about like our equality, like our rights and everything. There's nothing called feminine and masculine qualities. Like for example, like, it's like men shouldn't cry. Why? Why is like crying nurturing? Like like I have to say that I have so much respect for my husband, your dad. He is such a caring person. Like since when we had you, like only. Oh yeah, Baba was no one. Yeah. Like he used to wake up in the middle of the night. He used to get the bottle of milk. He used to feed him. Like it's such Baba had no problem on taking on motherly role. As technical, like motherly role. Yeah. Never ever. Yeah, like you would sleep. But I used to you would sleep. And even I think still, when you're home, you're sleeping. Oh no, you don't have the blanket. Yeah, and Baba does this to Rocky all the time people too. Say, "Oh, these are feminine qualities. These are masculine qualities." Yeah, it just those are not right. I don't think emotionally you can pinpoint like when as a child, right? You teach boys don't cry, or when you start putting those things into perspective, they learn it at a young age. They don't know how to like really process it, but that sticks with them as they get older. Yeah. So you will hear boys saying like, and like I'm gonna say like he's like I'm not gonna be like a pussy, which basically means like I'm not gonna be sensitive because being sensitive is somehow looked down upon, or it's feminine, and somehow like I know where does it come that being a feminine? I think we have to be very like careful, like how you're explaining these terms now. Like when you're talking to a child, like you why can't a boy cry? Why can't a boy cry? Why? I have to say, like Neha is a very positive person. Very like even when she was a baby, like she always radiates positive energy, and I think. I'm a very emotional person, and I feel very proud of it because I'm sensitive, and so there are certain things which, like people's behavior, actions, used to affect me, and even when she was in middle school, like or maybe I don't know, maybe fourth grade, fifth grade, like maybe she had seen me just I'm unhappy. She would come up to me, she would talk to me as if like she is like an angel. Like I still have a memory that I had an argument with my friends, and I was very sad, and she being in my life helped me a lot, and I was able to move on. And today, even also if I'm sad, if something bothering me, I could pick up the phone, I will talk to her, and she would explain to me, Mom, no, this is that, this is this. Like, we will have a nice conversation. And it just that she elevates my mood and helps me a lot. To get through my day. She has that innate. She doesn't understand that how she helps people. It just sometimes I say you should be have
I mean, a psychologist or a psychiatrist or something like,
oh, that's med school. It's not happening for me.
So, a lot of people could have, but she helps. That's who she is. Yeah. It doesn't matter how many A's you get in your life, in exams or, and how much you achieve, like, as a career wise.
Yeah.
But me and Dad, we really take a moment and we think we have done our job because I see you as a very good human being.
It's not even just like one moment that defined. Like I said, I brought this up to you before, but again, I'm at an age now where I'm just a few years after where you were when you left your parents to come to an unknown country. Yeah. And this is pre Facebook, WhatsApp, cell phones, really.
We used to only talk once a week with the parents.
Exactly. There was no like, oh my God, what are they up to? Where are they? Where are they getting food?
To India was quite expensive at that time. Like,
so I think it's more so the understanding now. Like I remember when I turned 21, my first thing I was like, oh my God, Mom, I'm 21. I'm about to go to bars to drink alcohol. You got married and you moved to the US. Our lives are so like, we're the same age, but it could not be more parallel. No. Like it is not like we're doing the same things. No. We are doing two very polar opposite things at the same age. Yeah. And so the same, like that is something I have a lot of admiration and respect for, because even right now, I come home almost every weekend. Mm-hmm. I look forward to my family time. I love coming home. Yep. I don't know what life would be like if my fiance and I had to just fully take on everything, move to a whole country and not getting a phone or like getting to text you or like getting to FaceTime you and only getting like 5 minutes once a week to be like, hi, how are you doing? Give me all the life updates in one and then be done with it. Yeah. So that's just a lot of like kudos, respect, and admiration to you for doing so, because you were so young too. Yeah. It's like, you're still growing when you're 21. Oh, yeah, and like in a way, it's like you gave up one aspect of a family to then prioritize another family, right? Yeah. And so that is something that I don't have to do and I don't want to do. Yeah. And I'm lucky that I don't have to choose between that. Yeah. So I think that realization makes me gain a lot of respect for you to even be here now fully independent. Like when we go to India, both Boromashi, Chotomashi, they are lucky that they still have people doing all these chores for them, that for them their life is they go to work, they come back, they get time with their family, they go out, and then that's it. Everything is done. The laundry is folded for them. They have food that is on the table for them. They have someone to drive them from point A to point B. But for you, you are here cooking, you are here cleaning. Like you and Baba are literally doing all the chores because there's nowhere else here to still help you. We still don't have immediate family who live. We don't have like an 18-person household. No. We have our chosen family that I think,
and I am very thankful. Yeah, like our friends.
Yeah, the friends that we all have. Like you both curated that village. What you guys said, right? It takes a village to raise a child. Sure, they aren't blood relatives, but they're very much as impactful in both of your lives, my life too.
Yeah, and I have to say, at this age of my life, after spending, and the friends that I'm still close to, they have seen my best of me and worst of me, and they have accepted me who I am. Yeah. And I'm very thankful.
And has nothing to do with blood. Has nothing to do with them saying, I have to.
They are here for me and,
all the time.
All the time. And I'm very blessed. I have to say, I'm very blessed.
I think high school. High school with my teenage years comes a year of like just overall rebellion, but I definitely think
that's your age.
Yeah, I think Baba and I were overall fine. Like Baba and I were fine. In most cases, we still argued, but I think you and I were literally head at each other arguments. I don't think it was literally like you probably wouldn't even do anything. You would have said something, but I was just so annoyed that naturally I would just like take it out on you, lash out on you. And it's like, you didn't even do anything. Yeah. And like back then it was very easy to just be super like emotional or like get angry really quickly and just like slam the door and be like, oh my God, I'm going to move out, or like, I just want to leave the house type of thing. When it's like, obviously you weren't like deserved. Like, that's not what you should have gotten at that time.
Yeah.
But at that time, I thought it was like,
oh
hey,
my God,
like, it's her fault. Like, why is she doing this and stuff? But in hindsight, it's more so like, you know, like I was just acting up for the sake of acting. That was my age.
Acting up.
Yeah. But like, regardless, I still wouldn't say that that's an excuse, because at the end, like, even though that was my age, it's something that you should not have had to like deal with for so long. So obviously apologize for that. But like, honestly, like, I think you had like the short end of the stick in high school more than Baba did in terms of us.
Because that time he was doing his MBA, so he wasn't
even in the picture.
In the picture, man. So of course, you know, we are interacting.
Yeah,
so,
I think we're both very like outspoken people.
You used to go to Odyssey class, and at one point of time you didn't want to, but I put my foot down. I say no,
I have to,
because now I think she was trying to tell me like it's something I don't like, but you know, I was so much like I was so focused on thinking, oh, that would be her habit. Oh, okay, I will just
let her do it and stuff.
And I don't know whether I did the right thing or not. And then he said, no, it doesn't matter whether you like it or not. I used to drag you to the Odyssey class
regardless,
every Sunday morning.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like, if you have something to tell me, Mom, like, you should have listened to me. Like, you know, I didn't like pay attention.
Yeah.
So that was sometimes I say, oh, I don't
about
know.
That.
Yeah.
I think when I was refuting, when I decided that I didn't want to go at that time, it was like upsetting / annoying that like none of you would listen.
That you don't like.
It's like none of you would listen to me when I'm like, I don't like going here, so why am I being forced to go here? But at the same time, I now look back at Odyssey as like something I love and something I really like. I'm now here wanting to take semi-classical, like Bollywood dance songs. Nowadays, again, with more knowledge, with more access around the world to more cultures, we get to learn that like even from such an early age, if my 2-year-old child is crying and saying, I don't want to go here, I will not take my child. There is a reason why they are saying that in the first place. Obviously, if they're like, I don't want to go to school because I don't want to go to school.
Bother me. That I should have like thought about it. I should have like said, okay, if you don't like it, you don't have to do it. But no, I didn't think about it. I said, no, you're not giving it up. You are going there. No matter
hindsight, it's totally fine.
Okay, fine.
You're good.
I got peace. I know.
You're good. As I get ready for this new next component of my life, more so I think eventual with motherhood, I want to give back the reassurance that you raised me to be as good of a mother as I can be as you were. I think I do think about that. I do think I think about that a lot. Is I want you to look at me as a mom and be like, wow, like I spent all my years on her, so now she can pass these traits now down to her child, and like that be a cycle. So you know, I do think about that. I also have a few years. I enjoy being selfish right now. I'm not ready.
It's okay.
I'm not ready to be a kid,
okay.
but I
take
think
your time.
I think that, and then also in general, in terms of just sense of like community, like the people that I'm around, I think just more, like I said, I think reassurance is the overarching word in terms of you guys spent your younger years putting in so much effort raising a kid, while maybe your peers at the time were being selfish like me. But now you guys are
I think we're still young.
Both of you are in age now where, because you sacrifice the younger years of life.
We started our life at a very early age.
You get these years of life back, whereas your peers are probably now dealing with what you were 10 years back, right? So I want you to have to kind of get like that stress-free, well-deserved moment of just being relaxed, not having to deal with the older generation, but now not having to deal with the younger generation. I'm very cognizant that during my like high school years, and I think that's something I learned in actually one of my classes, was there comes a time where like the parent generation will be pulled apart on taking care of their parents as they get elderly, and then their kids as they're growing up. And so you are being pulled in all aspects, right? Now that like with time the older generation passes away, so like that stress, like it's sad, but like that stress level isn't there anymore. But for you guys, I don't want you to have to deal with the stress level of having to raise me anymore, so that you guys don't have to be stressed. You guys can just be like relaxed and stuff, spend like almost a month in Italy and like so forth, do more countries and everything. Getting this opportunity to just be mom, daughter, and reflect on both of our individual lives and just lives together is not something that a lot of people get to have as a memory, and we will always get to have this to cherish. And on this day in our lives, at the ages that we are now, we got to really see like life from start to current. We're not saying end because it's not end, but start to current point. So this is very special because, you know, there are instances where we are having similar memories and similar experiences, but at the time it's vastly different. Like we're just one generation apart. Our age gap isn't even that big, but miles and miles in terms of how different it is. Like I said, I'm going through the ages that you were as you had me, and I'm seeing the differences. We watched a video where you are 26 and you're preparing me to go to preschool. I'm 26. I just had friends who left at 2:30 a.m. to post party. Like we are very different in that, but at the same time, if we look at a deeper level in terms of beliefs, in terms of love for culture, in terms of like being human beings, I think there are a lot of similarities. So very grateful that we got to do this. Love you, Mama.
I know. Thank you. Very rewarding.
I know. Like, it's giving Kardashian.
Yeah, I know. We just light, sound, camera.
Like Chris to my Kim.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
No, thank you. And I have to say, I'm very proud of you. And just continue whatever you are doing. Just be yourself.
Yeah.
And just
love you like a sister.
Yes, and share your love. And
thank you, Mama.
It comes back.
Love you.
Love you. So proud of you.